I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
What up? Sober Experience. Welcome back.
You are now tuned into the sound of J Electronica. Yeah. Please remove all coins, change, keys, and foreign objects from your pockets. We'll have a good time tonight. Yeah. Here we go. Everybody told me to be patient, but who was sleeping from couch to couch and basement to basement?
What up, everybody? Welcome back. Sober Experience. You know the deal. Like and subscribe on all podcast platforms. Don't forget to share these episodes with your friends. And we are back in Bidnick. Yeah, man. It's Sunday night. I just finished a full day of work. I've been working every day, except for yesterday. You know, yesterday I took some, I don't know, what I say, time off, whatever. Dog, when you are living your dream and you are living your life, there are no days off, and that is a gift. I could work every day, do my thing every day, and I'm not missing anything. I make time to do what I need to whenever I want to. Spend time with my family, you know. I make sure everybody's in good shape. And that's it, man. So it's nice to not be just, trapped in somebody else's life, bro. And that's what I've been seeing a lot of. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I had to get rid of on my phone, my Instagram and my Twitter, which I lived on because. A couple of things, obviously all the political craziness where people are just like fucking miserable no matter what, no matter what. They find something to be miserable about. And number one, I don't fight with people online about politics. I just fucking don't. You want to say something to me, you could say it to me. And a lot of times I just be like, okay, like it don't matter to me, dog. In this cycle, I was a Bobby Kennedy guy. Everybody knows that. Whoever listens knows. So, dog, I won. My team won. What the fuck else I'm going to do? Go out there and just lose by just creating enemies and rubbing it in people's faces and whatever? And like, dude, I lend a kind ear to people who are in distress. In general, I do that. And then I just be like, well, are you open to maybe you not being right? And if you are not, then I don't really have a lot of space for that in my life because I am open to being wrong about a lot of things. About everything. I'm open to being wrong about everything. And that's why I am who I am. In my life, in my fucking community, the people that know me, they're not like, oh, this guy's humble, like whatever. It's like, no, dude. I mean, they know that I try to behave with humility. Like I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to be somebody else. There's nobody that can take anything from me. And that's like real freedom, I was talking, my wife has a little cousin. I guess you want to call him that. And I was talking to him yesterday. And, he's got like his feet in the, financial services world. And, I was like, oh, it's funny because like my wife's family is not super close in that way, or we are just, slowly a little bit at a time being introduced to them in a healthy way. And, so this guy doesn't know anything about me. And I'm like there at a little kid's birthday party. It's small. This one was small. The one 2 weeks ago was like that was incredible, but that one was big. The one that was in the trap. Anyways, a different setting. Most of the same people. So I'm like a little butterfly, man. I float around. I get to know people. It's part of who I am. I sit on the floor. I play with the little kids. It was like a 3-year-old's birthday. What's better than a little 3-year-old girl and another little 3-year-old girl fighting over fucking toys? You know what I mean? It's like beautiful. Like, yeah, man, let him go for it. Anyway, so this kid, the father of the birthday girl, he's a young man. He's like 26, and he's in the financial services world. And I was like, oh, I have a lot of like imposter syndrome. I do, and it sucks because sometimes it stands in the way of me being helpful, and a lot of times I jump out the window and maybe try to be helpful, and then I feel embarrassed, and then I just apologize, and that's how that happened. Like, we were talking about, because he's got to study for some licenses or whatever. He has a bunch of them. One that he's got to get is one that I already had, So I know, I know what it takes to pass that thing or whatever, or what he's going through. It's funny because my wife makes fun of me because anybody who knows me on an intimate level, past, present, or future, they know that I do not cry. I do not, tears do not come out of my eyes. I may be sad or very happy on the inside. I was almost crying at my wedding, actually. That was the best day of my life. Up to now, brother, it was everything. Anyway, I'm saying that to say that, she makes fun of me because she asked me one time, the last time I cried, I was 20 years old and I was studying for this exam that this kid has to take. And I was under so much pressure, and I had a half a bundle a day heroin habit, and I was doing all this stuff. Meanwhile, dude, I did it all on dope. So, which is wild in itself. And I passed the test on the first time. But anyway, there was one moment I was under all this pressure that I was putting on myself and the environment that I was in, the firm that I was working for. They were like, I drank the Kool-Aid. And yeah, I really did. Anyway, so there was a point where I just broke down crying on my parents' porch. I was studying, and there was so stupid, but there was no internet. So now these kids, they can watch YouTube videos and whatever. So I don't even know how helpful I could be to somebody in any way. But back then, dude, you either knew the shit or you didn't, and you read it out of a fucking book. And I was so I told him, I said, this one part of the exam, I know up, down, left, right, cold, like an animal because of the jobs that I had. So even when the firm that I worked at, I taught everybody that one part of the test. And at that time, it was 40% of the test, which was weird. So if you studied that one part, basically it's options trading, right? So if you studied options and then you studied the regulatory stuff, MSRB rules, and then bonds or something, you could just let the rest of that shit go. And then, because if you get 70 is as good as 100, it's just pass, fail, whatever. So anyway, so I was telling him, I was like, dude, I had a 7, bam, 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 bam. And then we just start chatting it up. And then I'm like, it's this kid's fucking birthday. And I got him in a headlock in the corner, and I'm telling him, not telling him stories, but I'm fucking yapping, Yeah. And it makes me feel in the moment, I can't stop myself because I'm I guess I can matter in this moment to somebody, And then I'm just dude, why are you over here talking to this guy about career stuff at his kid's fucking birthday? Meanwhile, I'm like, nobody's interested in you. No, they're just appeasing you because you're married to their fucking cousin. You know, you're the only white boy for fucking miles and blah, 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 blah. All the negative self-talk that I have. You know? Anyway. So the thing I told him, I was like, look, listen. I said, I did that stuff and I worked in that thing. You know, I told him a few fucking stories. And then I was like, dude, what you need to do here, this is where the great I am. What you need to do is you need to learn all of the investment banking stuff. You need to learn business management stuff, and you need to learn how to build a business. That's what I learned working in that field when I was on the telephone, just dialing, boom, 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 boom. Like, you know, like you see on fucking television. I did that for a long time. And I built a business that, you know, afforded me so much of a life that I, you know, ran it into the ground with drugs, alcohol, women, and that whole thing. And I ended up getting sober when I was 24. That's how hard I was fucking going. You know, it was crazy. Legendary. Anyway, so what I told him was like, dude, you learn that stuff. And just so you know, those investment bankers and private equity and all this other fancy shit, whether I'm not going to name the banks that he works at or whatever, and they're bulge bracket, they're big name banks. I was like, dude, these people are not your friend, just so you know. I'm not trying to diss them, whatever. I said, but, you know, they're not. So you take that stuff and then you go and then you start a business and then you make some fucking money, you know, because that whole system is designed to trick you into working for them, where you make them $25 million and they pay you $200,000 or $300,000. You're like, oh my God, I just made $300,000. Say $500,000, you know. Meanwhile, you're making them $25 fucking million. When if you just do that same effort, maybe more effort than you would work for them for that $25 million that you would make for them, you could probably generate over time. You can build something that'll be close to $1 million for yourself. You know, it may take you 5 years to do it instead of 1 year because you don't have that big bank name running around. But if you just start saying, hey, listen, I manage people's money. I can help you set up financial planning and this and that. And you go in your community and then you start networking, and it take you 10 years or 15 years, but then you'll have a real business that nobody can fucking turn off. And that's the freedom. To know that these people, the system, they are not your fucking friends. And that's what a lot of people just learned in this past election. These people who claim to be for you, they are not for you, sir, ma'am, zer, wham, whatever. They are not. And you can see how fickle they are. As soon as Democrats lose, then all of a sudden they got all the answers. I'm like, bitch, you guys thought it was going to be a fucking landslide, and you were right, but you were wrong. And you led your people down a whole fucking path, and you fed them all kind of stuff, you know, and you were all the way wrong, you know. And then now you're blamed, you know. It's all ego, and it's all and that's what I don't like right now about the Democratic Party. You know, and I was big Obama. Oh, man, I love Obama. I hated George Bush. Bill Clinton, okay. You know, dude, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. You know, so it was Bill Clinton and, you know, both of the Bushes, hated both of them. You know, I didn't know anything about politics. I didn't know anything about the world. I knew that there were the WMDs, and I knew about the fucking, you know, the shit in Iraq. I knew with Bill Clinton, with fucking Monica Lewinsky. And you were just like, oh, not a big deal. And there was a joke when you're a kid. Hey, I did not have sex with that girl, and I did not inhale. And, you know, when you're so young, you're just inexperienced that you haven't had the benefit of betrayal. You haven't had that yet. So you just be like, yeah, this is cool. And then now as an adult, I'm like, and I've said this plenty of times on this show, like, bro, that guy, Bill Clinton's a fucking predator, bro. Straight up and down. He's a fucking predator. He is an animal. Interns. You know what I'm saying? Interns, bro. Aside from all the rape charges and shit and accusations and, you know, yeah, he cut I forgot these people's names. I'm sorry. No disrespect to them, but I'm going to blame it on the shot. I took the jab. Yeah, was it Paula Jones or something? Bro, he gave them like $400,000. He cut them a check. Meanwhile, fucking Orange Boy is trying to hide it on his balance sheet, and then they charge him with felonies fucking 20 years later. At least it was consensual. You know what I'm saying? Some of them was, you know, and then they accused, I don't want to get into it, whatever. You know, I'm sure some people, some liberal friends of mine are probably seething right now. But the point is that, like, dude, you know, as you get older, you're like, whoa, oh, man. And then Bill Clinton, he signed NAFTA treaty, free trade. All of a sudden, that's where the manufacturing, it takes 10 years and it leaves us. You know, countries devastated. And then fucking, you know, Pappy Bush and then Baby Bush with the fucking Iraq shit and all the fucking fake shit. And then, you know, you learn about the fucking Sacklers and all that stuff. Like, dude, this whole system is fucking, they're not your friends. You can operate in the system independently and love your neighbors and love your people and love your family and love people who don't agree with you, because that's how I roll. That's why motherfuckers can't fuck with me, man, because I'm not mad if somebody don't like me. I don't even have to defend myself. Between me and God, I know who I am. I know what I am, you know. And my name rings out in the right places. You know, people who aren't scared to be honest with me about when I'm fucking out of pocket. You know, or support me when I need support, or help me when I need help. You know, like all of yous listening every week. I'm sorry I've been skipping weeks, dude. It's been very crazy with work, and I've been overwhelmed. And I have the best wife who's very understanding. You know, but she's also in her own storm, studying every day, studying every day. You know, but we live a good life. There's a life of love in my home, man. It's not settling like, oh, the old ball and chain and, oh, my stupid husband. Neither one of us don't even have those fucking thoughts about each other. And we see that in other people, and we pray for them. In a sense, like, dude, we hope they're on their way, you know, to finding that happiness that we have, man. The happiness that we have, you know. She said something to me because when we was at the party, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some food, you know, because I was hungry, dog, by the time I got there. I was hungry. I hit the gym, bro. I did legs yesterday like a motherfucker, you know. Yeah, I was doing it. Anyway, fucking sleds, pressing, whatever, all that stuff. And, so when I get to the party, I'm like, all right, maybe I was a little bit rude because, we just got there. Everybody's talking. People are ready. The food is out and people is like plating. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to get some food. And then my wife is like, she's like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, and I looked at her like, what? And then, within a minute, I guess maybe I was interrupting her. I shouldn't have, because she was talking with her sister, my sister-in-law, which is like my sister, basically. I was like, oh, she's going to go get my, So she got up and she made my plate. And she knew. I was like, dude, no fucking carbs. A very, very little bit of that mac and cheese because it looked good. When I mean a little bit, like half a fucking spoon. Half of a serving spoon, not half of a teaspoon or whatever. And the rest I just had like, chicken, some other stuff. Anyway, plate comes back and there's no mac and cheese. I'm like, dog, where's the mac and cheese? Don't be cheapy, And she went, she got it, she came back. And then later that night, when I was with my boys, we was at the Banya in Jersey watching the UFC at the Russian bathhouse because they throw it on there for everybody and it was great. Shout out Amber, Frank the Tank. And, Doug came too. And Roman, the secret agent. Anyway, so when I was there, she texted me. She's like, yo, you need to watch your tone when you tell me I forget something on your plate. And I was like, oh. I said, I'm sorry. I was joking, and I'm sorry if it came out a little bit wrong. Especially maybe I was a little bit loud. You know, we was at a party, music blasting, it was in public. I should have been like, hey, like, you know, and just, you know, little fucking eyebrow wink or something or whatever. Anyway. But other than that, man, you know, some people, they don't have that. A wife can't check them about how they talk, and the wife don't get them, and the guy's got to get his own food, which is culturally, you know, it's not where I come from. And it's okay if you don't get your own plate, or if you do get your own plate. I mean, I'm not judging you, but like where I grew up or how I grew up, you know, woman gets the man's plate, you know, and that's it. And that was funny because when I first met my wife and we were out somewhere at a barbecue or whatever in public, I was trying to be like, you know, because I didn't know, and I didn't want to just, you know, I didn't want to just assume, you know, because we are from the same culture, you know, Boricua. We're both Puerto Ricans. Yeah, but I'm, you know, half a Ukrainian Jew. I mean, I'm full Jew, but half Ukrainian, half Puerto Rican. So what I'm saying is, yeah, I went to go get my plate, and she right away stopped me and said, please, do not embarrass me. I get you your plate. You have a seat. And I was like, I'm going to marry this lady. I'll do everything I can. You know? Yep. And here we are. So, all right, enough of the Babylonia. All right, let's get back in. We're going back into the step work. All right, we're doing step 2. I got the NA book here. Let me see where we are. Coming to believe. Let me move the microphone. Oh, by the way, that intro was, you know, Jay Electronica, you know, who I love so much. I'm making these adjustments. Where's my water? Well, let me give it a little splash to the aloe plant. Give it a little baptism. Okay, Mr. Aloe Plant. All right, take a sip. We'll read a little bit. We'll do some questions, and then we'll move on. I'll hop in the car, smoke a cigar, go home, and I'm going to make love to my wife. No, I'm going to go home and just see what's popping. But if she wants to get down, I'm motherfucking down. I'm down like piso, you know. So, coming to believe. Okay, here we go. Okay, the discussion above provides several reasons why we may have trouble with this step. Again, step 2 is came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Not in. It's very hard for you to come to believe in that power, but you have to believe that there is a power that can help you run your life that is not you. Whether it's the love from your friends, love from your family, God himself or herself or they self or whatever, but you making every decision on your own, but, you know, good luck. You better be perfect, and none of us are, you know, and that level of ego will have you making decisions at the expense of other people in your life, because especially people you love, because you could be making better decisions with different perspective. But I digress. Okay. This discussion above provides several reasons why we may have trouble with this step. There may be others. It is important for us to identify and overcome any barriers that could prevent us from coming to believe. Question 1. Do I have any fears about coming to believe? What are they? I don't have any fears about that. You know, I have different fears. Again, like going back to the story when I was talking to that kid, I literally, like a fucking baby, texted him later on that night. I said, I'm so sorry for like all that babbling and whatever. And he was like, absolutely not. Thank you so much. And I'll reach out to you and this and that. We're like, whatever. I'm like, and then I'd turn into like, oh, he's just being fucking nice and cordial because he's a beautiful kid and I'm a stupid old man. But what do I know? All right. Do I have any fears? No. Do I have any barriers that make it difficult for me to believe? What are they? At this point, no, I don't have any. But in the beginning, when I started to turn my life over to the care and love of other people and of God, I had a lot of barriers. I was like, dude, all right, it'll work with my drinking. I'll take care of the money. I'll take care of the sex. I'll take care of the fucking raising my son. I'll take care of all this other stuff. Right now, I just need help with drinking and drugs. You know, and that was the truth. You know, the other stuff I thought I still had it under influence, and it was under influence of me. But again, I learned in hindsight negatively that the sooner I asked for and accepted help from people who had experience doing the things that I was doing, you know, the better outcome it always was. Even if it was just confirmation that I was thinking and doing and taking the right actions. But, you know, no confirmation is no confirmation. Then it's just like I'm fucking guessing. Inexperienced guessing. That's what I'm doing. You know, anyway. What does the phrase "we came to believe" mean to me? I think for me, it's like a process. It's not an event. It's like over time, I come to believe and have more trust in the universe and in God that there are people out there who will help me and who love me. You know, and they're not. It's not everybody. That's the thing. It's not everybody, but there are people out there who want, you know, who want to help me win, and that's beautiful. You know. Yeah. All right. As addicts, we are prone to wanting everything to happen instantly. No doy. But it's important to remember that step 2 is a process, not an event. What the fuck did I just say? It's a process, not an event. Most of us just don't want to wake up one day and know that a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity. We gradually grow into this belief. This is true. Still, we don't have to just sit back and wait for our belief to grow on its own. We can help it along. Question: have I ever believed in anything which I didn't have tangible evidence? What was that experience like? I can't say that I did. I can't say that I did. I would believe things, and again, I'm gullible, but that doesn't mean that I believe. It just means I follow along, you know, in that sense. So it's things that I didn't have tangible evidence. No, but I spent a lot of my life lying, making pretend that I knew things that I didn't know. So there's that. I don't know how that fits in, but whatever. What experience have I heard other recovering addicts share about the process of coming to believe? Have I tried any of them in my own life? Let me think. I don't know. I just share my own experience on this show, which is that like a little bit at a time I was taking steps, and steps meaning like actions, and changing my life that way. And those actions were based on, I don't know, a belief in that things were going to work out better, but I was taking over time actions and things that I just wanted them to be different. And I was walking along this path that other people were ahead of me and were like, no, this is the right path. And I'm like, no, dude, you don't understand. I need to say this. I need to do this. I need to lie about this. You know, I was talking with one of my cousins the other day who, I was talking with him, and he was buying 2 egg sandwiches. And I was like, dog, you're going to, and we were joking because like, wow, man, bacon, egg, and cheese. Now it's like $8 a fucking sandwich, which is crazy. And they're like, yo, how much without the cheese? Oh, $7.50. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so it was like $16 for 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses, if that's the right even plurality. And I was like, all right, so it's like, you know, you got to tip. I said, you got to tip. And I just threw it out there like, yo, you got to tip them like $1 each sandwich at minimum, you know? And he's like, nah, Jay, I can't do that right now. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man, I can't do it. I can't do it. I was like, that's so much fucking fiction. It's like, dude, you make all this money and you can't tip somebody fucking $2 that literally means nothing to you literally out of your day, but you have this mental block that tells you can't afford an extra $2 for somebody who made some food for you. You know? And he's like, all right, you're right. And I snap him out of it, and hopefully he did it, you know? But that's how people were with me. You know, that's the right. I was like, dude, how much? And then I threw God in it. How much you believe in God? You don't think God's not going to throw that $2 back in your pocket when you paid forward to some fucking Mexicans or whoever's making the egg sandwiches now? Maybe the Akis. It can't be the Akis because obviously there's pork bacon. Haram. But, yeah. It's like, dude, that's the act. That's an act of faith. That, like, I know when I give money to people, and I just give it to them, whether it's in the street, whether it's in whatever ways that I do it. And I do it in a lot of fucking ways, you know? And I spoke about that before. And I think that's why I stay blessed. Because I just, you know, I give. I give of myself. And if it's, $5 for me is not a life-changing event. But let me tell you something. If I put $5 in a tip jar, maybe it doesn't hurt anybody. And I'm not saying it makes somebody say, oh my God, they're going to go get the fucking, now they can get their rims, right? No. But it's like, as a consideration, because maybe there's other people who don't tip, and I'm sure there isn't. So I never mind being heavy-handed with tipping. And I used to do it out of ego, but now I do it because it's just like, dude, it's helpful, and I have more than what I need. I'm being honest. I have more than what I need, you know. And $5 or $10 or $2 or $20, I give some guy in the street who's fucking begging for money. He's out there all day. I'm just driving by on my way to do my own thing, you know. I don't have $20. I do. And then my mom, she goes crazy. Oh, they're going to spend it on drugs. They're going to, it's like, okay. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. You know, but I know it's not my job to judge them. That's not what I'm supposed to do. And I used to tell my mom, you know, there's people who, the way my mom looks at drug addicts, I was like, you know, there are people who used to look at me like that, and they were right. Because that was me. I was never in the street because I was a smooth criminal. But like, yeah. But you don't have to be, not all people in the street are on drugs. The system has maybe turned against them. Or they had a couple of bad weeks, or made a couple of left turns instead of a right turn. I don't know. I don't need to know. You know, but I know $20, they're going to get then it's up to them. Then I know that they can, it's up to them whether or not they want to have a meal with that money. And like, you know, not a cup of noodles, but like, you know, for that day, like a meal. If I can do that, great. And there's times where I've given like 100, you know, like, here, take that. I'm okay. You know, I go and do a big job for me, you know. Let's say I went out there one day by myself, doing some cleaning stuff, doing whatever, and I made like $1,800. And then the phone rings and somebody books another job for like $400. So I make $2,200 in one day, right? Which is, it's not infrequent that happens. You know, it happens. And I think the reason why it happens is because when that does happen to me and somebody pays me in cash, right? And then I see somebody, bro, I can give them $100. I can. It's not going to hurt me. is not going to hurt me. And I don't have to do it reluctantly. I can do it, and I can listen to however they want to thank me and whatever, and I don't have to put it on fucking Instagram or any of this other stuff, but I can do that. You know? And that's how, you know, over time, living like that, you know, I have a blessed life. And I cannot say that they're not related, because I don't know what it would be like if I didn't live like that. You know? I don't know what it would be like. So, anyway, that's how I came to believe. But taking different actions like that, one action at a time, one day at a time. And what do I believe? I believe in, I don't know if it's karma. Maybe it's karma, what I'm just describing. But what I do believe is that I believe in the spirit of loving and giving. I do. And I mean that very sincerely. And I think that above everything else, I know the gift that I get is knowing that I'm doing the next right thing. That's what I know. I know that, like, I don't have to have a lock on my phone. I don't need a password on my phone. I don't need a password on my emails. My wife can look at anything, you know. If there is any impropriety, and I'm not going to confirm or deny, no. What I'm saying is, if there's any impropriety, they're like passing thoughts in my brain like a regular fucking human. J-Dog is not fucking playing footsie with anybody. He's not, it just doesn't exist. And when I live like that, I live free. I live free. And that's the gift I get. I get to be free. I don't have to worry. My wife can question me about anything. I may not have the answer right away, but I know what the answer is not going to be, no matter what, that I was doing something wrong, that I was doing something wrong with my money, that I was doing the wrong shit. I wouldn't say wrong, because I make mistakes and maybe those are wrong, but I don't do any foul shit. I don't live foul. And I was a foul, you know what, my whole life. This guy shared it in the meeting yesterday. Hold on, let me get a pen. So I gotta mark the book, because this is where we're gonna stop for today. This guy shared it in the meeting yesterday that you know, he's like, "Yo, I'll go above and beyond for anybody else," but you know, what did he say? He said, "No, I'll do anything for you, but just don't think that you come before me." And that was like powerful. I felt that. I was like, yeah, man, I believe that. When I was trapped in my addiction, and the addiction was just, I needed security, emotional security. So I had to have backup plans, whether they were professional, whether they were relationships with women, whether it was money. I would have money stashed here and money stashed there. Escape fucking plans, backup plans, by the ways attached to fucking everything, you know? And in one way, it gave me a sense of security, because I was like, yeah, no matter what, like, this girl fucking leaves me, I got like something else on the burner, you know, whatever. Dude, same thing with jobs, with anything. It doesn't always just have to be with women, you know? But I'm a masculine man, so that's where a lot of my problems have been in my life. So what I'm saying is that, like, you know, yes, it gives me a false sense of security. We're like, yeah, nobody can hurt me. But it also means that I'm not going to fucking win. Because winning is trusting in God that me, no matter what, bro, if I do the right thing and I don't disrespect my wife, and I don't disrespect my marriage, and I don't disrespect my business, and I don't disrespect my employees, and I don't disrespect my parents, and I just bring my best self there. If I do that, okay, and then the betrayal happens on the other end, then I know that that shit is not on me and it wasn't meant for me. And that, to me, every time that that's happened, and I was like, and my side of the street was semi-clean or as clean as it could have been, then like God has given me a fucking gold brick on the other end of that fucking pain door, that I just had to sit in front of the door and question him and question my life. But I did everything right. I fucking blah, blah, blah. And look, it still didn't go the way I quote unquote wanted it to go. But in the long run, it always worked out best for me. I don't know what's best for me. I know what's not good for me. That I know. And I know kind of what's best for me. Like, I know what God's will is for me, but I don't know what his plan is. His plan is his plan, but his will is for me to be who I am right now, which is somebody who is always on my way. I'm always seeking. How can I get closer to him? Through these challenges every day. I challenge myself, bro. I got fucking demons you would not believe that tell me that crazy loop that I shared with you guys about this kid that I was like trying to help. That stupid fucking loop. It goes on everywhere in my life. You know? That I'm nothing. That I'm a loser. That I'm worthless. And it's fiction. You know? I have tangible proof that I have helped people in a very positive way and not in a self-seeking or selfish way. Because the way that I help people now is of no benefit to me directly. Indirectly, I get all the fucking gifts. There are people out there that can be like, yo, he's a stand-up guy. He's a little wild, but he's a stand-up guy. And he's a good man. And I never knew I had it in me. So like and subscribe on all podcast platforms. Share these episodes with your friends on our YouTube page, The Sober Experience. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. I love you. Peace.